Hey guys, welcome to another market review session with us today. And I'm very sure that if you're able to join us for last week's market review session, you should have been able to make some cash from the market. All right, we gave some very interesting analysis. All right, and I'm very sure that you'll be able to follow them and mark them out on your charts also. And as I said, look for your own proper confirmations before entering. You should have been able to take off some pips, all right, from the market. And definitely, we do know that we're going to have another profitable week, all right, this week. But let's just go straight into the video, right? We will be looking at some currency indices together as usual, then we'll look at some currency pairs, all right? So first off, we're looking at DXY, the US dollar currency index. And as you can see on my chart, I'm looking for DXY to grow weaker, all right? This is on the 4-hour time frame. I'm looking for DXY to go weaker, all right? So this will only hold, all right, if this high around here is not broken. Let me just mark that out quickly around here. All right, so this is around 106.369. So if that is not broken, then definitely I'll watch out for, DXY to be bearish. All right, and in that happening, all right, we could come back to recover some of the spaces left by this FVG. All right, and probably even come a bit lower. All right, so this massive candle here that you can see here, and then just require recover liquidity from that FVG. All right, so I'm expecting DXY to be weaker during the course of this week. That is clear. All right, so quickly. Let's go next, all right, into GBP as the BXY rather, the British Pound Currency Index, all right. And for this week on GBP or BXY rather, I'll be expecting BXY to become bullish. All right, I'll be expecting BXY to become bullish. All right, might not necessarily be something long, all right, but we've seen that price has currently come into. Let me remove this to make things a bit clearer. All right, so we've seen that price has currently come into an FVG space. All right, and we're watching out for that FVG space becoming our demand zone, like us to get a buy from there. All right, it might not necessarily be a long buy, but just enough to push us just up a bit, all right, just enough to take us up a bit, all right. So for this week, I'll be expecting BXY to be bullish, all right. So you have some strength, all right. Next up is AXY, the Australian Dollar Currency Index, and I think if you were around doing it last week, our bias was for us to see AXY drop, all right. So we got to see that, however, we didn't get to see it. It wasn't as clear, all right, as we wanted, all right. Well, all the same, I want us to be watchful for, this week on AXY, I'm still expecting some level of bearishness on AXY, but I'll be expecting it to end soon and become just a bit stronger. All right, so if possible, depending on the amount of moves that the market makes this week, all right, or the strength of the moves that the market makes this week, we'll be watching out for probably Monday, Tuesday, all right, for us to see price drop a bit lower into this area here. This is between 63.46 and 62.86, all right. So if I get to see price drop in there, then I'll be watching out for possible buys from around there. I'm watching out for possible buys from around there on AXY. All right, so that is clear. Next up, let's look at CXY quickly. The Canadian dollar currency index, and currently my overall bias would be bearish. All right, let me just go up to the daily time frame to show us this. Give me a minute here. So my overall bias would be bearish on this. However, I want to be watchful for one or two things. All right. As you can see, I was expecting us to be bullish from this zone. All right, but it's seeming like that zone is going to be broken very, very soon. All right. So in the case that that zone gets broken, all right, I will not necessarily be expecting us to have maybe an equal low and then get it buy. All right. Well, I'm watching out for one of these areas, just somewhere around this current low. Let me just mark that out quickly. This current low that I'm marking out here. Let me just bring this. Sorry, give me a minute. All right, let me just bring this down a little bit to somewhere around here. All right, so I'll be expecting price to probably drop towards somewhere around there, and then we get to see a shoot up before we get to see price come down again. But overall, my bias on CXY is bearish. All right. I'm just watching out for this zone. All right, this is between 72.50 and 72.19 to be broken. All right, so once I get to see that happen, then I'll just go on with my bias for Canadian CAD pairs. All right, so next up we'll be looking at JPY basket, and let me just go down to the 4-hour time frame. All right, let me just go down to the 4-hour time frame. For JPY basket, I'll be expecting it to be bearish. All right, I was expecting to lose some strength. If you remember, during the course of the last 2 or so market reviews, I was explaining the fact that I was expecting. I think this was during the last 2 or so market reviews that we talked about this, all right, supply zone. I'm going to see rejections happen from there quite well, about 2, 3, 4, multiple times. All right, and currently, we can see that there is this long wick candle, which is a rejection candle from, all right, this supply zone or this order block, as it were. All right, and I'll still be expecting JPY basket to be bearish. All right, Initially, I was planning for I was watching out rather for price probably coming up into this supply zone, this higher one here, which is around 6522 and 6500. All right, I was expecting us to get to that level before we got to see another drop, or the market moved its way and we didn't get to see that rather. All right, but all that being said, I'll just be expecting JPY basket to be bearish during the course of the week. So I hope that is clear. All right, for the indices, quickly, we're going to be looking at some currency pairs together, and we'll be looking at what we expect to happen during the course of the week on those pairs. All right, so first off, we're looking at everybody's favorite gold, XAU USD. And again, if you're around for last week's market review, we'll have been able to take this beautiful trade. I think I gave this points, right, and I told us to watch out for possibilities of buys, all right, happening in that area, all right, and we're going to see one happen very beautifully, very beautifully, all right. We've seen this at least on the smallest, all right, scale, all right. Should have been able to take a 1:2, 1:3, maybe even a 1:4, 1:5, RR trade on this, all right. So that being said, what again should we be expecting for gold this week? Let me just go down to the lower time frame rather. All right, so this is on the 2-hour time frame. I'll be expecting price to still pull down a bit into this zone. So let me just give us the coordinates quickly. Around 2382.86 and 2373.08. So I'm watching out for the possibility of price still, you can just, if you look at what I have on my chart right now, I have a buy to sell to buy. So I'll be expecting price to just push up a bit. All right, then once I get to the price calm down for that sell or that retracement sell into that zone I gave earlier, then I'm watching out for more buys to happen on gold. I'm watching out for more buys to happen on gold. So I hope that is clear for gold. Next up, let us look at USD CAD. I think I gave this also last week for USD CAD. I was expecting a sell-off on USD CAD. It didn't get to quite happen as I expected. It even broke above my supply zone a bit, but I eventually got to see that. And if you look at what we have here, we are looking at something that somehow, all right, looks like a head and shoulder pattern. All right, shoulder one, head, shoulder two. All right, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, looking like it. All right, but I want to be very watchful. All right, it's very likely that we will still get to see price push up a little bit, all right, push up a little bit. And personally, I'm watching out for rejections from around this the second shoulder or the right shoulder. That is around, let's just say, somewhere around 1.37919. All right, you can just look at your chart and just pick out a preferable zone, all right, by your own standards. All right, so do this again. Let me just put this disclaimer: this will only hold if that point does not get broken. If I get to the top of the right shoulder being broken, then definitely I'll be watching out for the possibility of price becoming bullish. All right, but for this week, I'm watching out for a buy to sell movement happening on USD CAD. A very idealistic way to look at what price is about to do right now before prices still get to drop a lot lower and then finally come towards this area where we have this massive imbalance left behind, all right, to recover liquidity from. All right, but let's just watching out for what price does during the course of the week. Next up, let's look at GBP JPY, JPY. All right, and for GBP JPY, I have something similar to what I just said. All right, I'm expecting a sell to buy on GBP JPY during the course of the week. If you notice, during the course of last week, we had GBP JPY giving us some very, for me at least, it was quite annoying. I had this supply zone marked out, and we're going to see price coming back a lot of times into that zone. Come slap back down, near it, go back down, near it again, go back down. I was just choose it. Pick a move, pick one thing and do it. All right, but during the course of this week, I was just watching out for this zone. Let me just give us the coordinates quickly. This is around 190.811 and 190.313. I'm watching out for JPY rather to come into that zone. All right, and then I'm watching out for buys from that zone. I'm not expecting it to be a long buy per se. I'm just going to be taking it as a scalp. All right, so if you get to see your confirmations for that trade, do well to not waste that opportunity to make money from this commodity. All right, so that is clear for GBP JPY. Next up, let's look at another fan favorite. All right, this is GBP USD, and plainly I'll be expecting GBP USD to be bullish during the course of this week. Plainly speaking, I'll be expecting GBP USD to be bullish during the course of the week. All right, I'm expecting, as you can see here, I just zoomed out a bit to show you. All right, as you can see here, we have, if you notice, my chart looks a bit scattered and just like, I just have a lot of things drawn on my chart. So don't pay so much attention to them. All right, just watch out for this. All right, we have an imbalance right now in the zone of around 1.23794 and 1.23158. So I'm watching out for buys to happen from around that area on GBP USD. So I'm going to be very watchful, especially for this. All right, if I get to see that this demand zone rather gets broken, that's this space left behind by the imbalance, then I'm watching out for some other points. But just for now, I'm watching out for that buy to happen straight away from where we are on GBP USD. So I hope that is clear for GU. Next up, let's look at USD CHF. And if you're around for last week's market review again, I mentioned that I was expecting USD CHF to sell. All right, and we got to see that sell again. We didn't get to see it play out as beautifully as we expected. It wasn't a straightforward sell. It was a sell that was filled with many gallops, as it were. You will notice many candles with long wicks, and it was looking like it did not have any clear sense of movements, that type of thing. All right, but that being said, I'll be expecting USD CHF rather. I'll be expecting the sell-off on that. All right, but preferably I want to watch out for prices to come up a bit into this zone. This is around 0.91322 and 0.91200. All right, so I'm watching out for sells from that zone on USD CHF. So a buy to sell scenario happening on USD CHF. I'm very sure that is clear. Next up, let's look at AUD USD. AUD USD. Give me a minute. Let me quickly, yes. My internet wanted to play on me at that point in time. Don't mind it. All right, so AUD USD. I think AUD USD, we've been expecting a buy to happen on AUD USD for a couple of weeks now. Was it AUD USD? I can't remember. All right, but we've had this zone marked out on AUD USD, and we've gotten to see that currently on AUD USD, price got into our supply, our demand zone rather, and we're going to see some level of rejection from there. Right now, I want to watch out, and I want to be very careful with this pair, especially during the course of the week. I want to watch out for the possibility of price still dipping a bit lower into this zone, not lower rather, but price still coming down. All right, so maybe towards this middle end of this. The previous green candle, right? You can see the previous bullish candle, this one, you can see around here. So I'll watch out for prices dropping a bit lower, but overall I'll be expecting AUD USD to buy. So something similar to what I said for GBP USD. However, I want to be very watchful for this pair, for the probability of price of dipping, still coming down just a bit before we have that buy start up on AUD USD. All right, so I hope that's clear for AUD USD. Next up, let's look at Euro USD. So something similar to what I just said for AUD USD. I'm just expecting a little bit of it, so just changing, and then we'll get to see that buy happen. That being said, let me just give this as another disclaimer. It is very likely, right? There's a possibility of that buy happening immediately. I have a lot of things to actually delete on my charts. Don't mind me. Yeah, I think I can delete this. I don't need this anymore. Or these. Yeah. All right. So, where was I? Give me a minute, please. All right, so what I was saying, a more idealistic approach for me would be for prices to drop a bit lower into the zone. This is around 1.05781 and 1.05154. That would be a more idealistic approach for me. However, I want to be watchful for the possibility of price just shooting up immediately market open. Same applies, or I would advise the same for AUD USD and GBP USD. All right. So depending on how price later ends up moving, all right, I'll be watching out for such moves. All right, but a very idealistic approach for me on this commodity, on this pair right now, will be for us to watch out for that sell to buy movement to happen, all right, on Euro USD. So I hope that is clear, very clear on Euro USD. Next up, let's look at GBP NZD, and this is a trade I want to be watching out for during the course of the week. So them just give us the coordinates for this zone. These are around 2.09408 and 2.08969. So I'm expecting that to be the zone I'll be watching out for a buy. All right. So I'll watch out for price to still dip a bit lower when market opens, and then we get to see that buy happen from there. All right. So I hope that is very clear. That was a that is quite straightforward if you look at it. All right. GBP NZD. Next up, let's look at AUD NZD. And I think for a while on AUD NZD, I've been expecting prices to still rise up into this zone. Probably for this, I should go to the daily time frame to show us a bit clearly. All right, give me a minute. Yes. All right. So give me a minute. Yes. So on AUD USD, this is around 1.10161 and 1.09749. All right, so I'm still expecting that is still my major supply zone that I'll be watching out for. For the meantime, we've got to see a little bit of a sell happen on AUD USD. All right, so I just on AUD NZD rather. So I just want to watch out for the for price to still push up a bit to get into that supply zone. So if you look at this, let me just give us the coordinates to the support here. This is around 1.08391. All right, it can differ based on maybe on your broker, it can be a different value that you'll be getting for that point. All right, but I want to watch out for there. If I get to see price break below, all right, that low or below that point, then I'll be watching out for the possibility of AUD turning bearish. All right, but for the meantime, I'm expecting AUD to be bullish. All right, so I'm watching out for more buy trades, as it were, on AUD. All right, so out that is clear. Quickly, let's look at AUD card. AUD card. So AUD card. I think I gave this. Was this last week? So I think this was around last week. All right. I was expecting I don't know if we talked about it during the last market review, but on this, I was expecting a very, very simple break and retest trade. All right. We got to see that price broke into this zone that we marked out here. I'm going to see the price broke way below it. All right, then came back up. All right, I'll be using the 0.5 or the 50% rather of the zone as it is. So we've got to see price break below that, come back to the middle, right? That's the 50% of it, and then we've got to see price drop. All right, and now we're going to see that price came into a very, very interesting demand zone, and we're going to see a very, very strong rejection candle from there. That's this very, very long wick candle that you can see here. So definitely, or not definitely, but I'm watching out for AUD card, all right, to be bullish, all right, in the course of the week. All right, so I'm putting this sell to buy arrow here because it is likely also that we might still get to see price push down just a little bit again before we get to see that bullish move happen. But for now, my bias on AUD card, or my overall outlook on AUD card, will be bullish. All right, so a sell to buy currently is what I'm expecting on AUD card. All right, so quickly let's look at two more commodities before we call it should we call it a day or an evening? Which one? Any one of them. All right, so let's just look at this one. We'll this last commodity together. So for AUD CHF, I think I gave this sell on during the course of the last market review. Or we're expecting the buy, but the buy didn't necessarily happen from there. All right, but we got to see that price broke below this again. If you notice, this is something that you could have caught. Was very, very close. All right, but this is something you could have easily taken as a break and retest sort of trade. All right, but I didn't exactly touch there, but still up on still, as one of my friends says. All right, so I'll be expecting AUD CHF to also buy. All right, but what I want to watch out for in this scenario would be something towards the line of, or something like this, still drop a bit lower, and then we get to see this. All right, so before I'm going to be taking any buys, I hope this is clear for AUD CHF anyway. Before I'm going to be taking any definite buys on this, I'm watching out for this zone here. Let me just mark it out quickly here. Give me a minute, please. This is around give me a minute. Let me just properly mark this out. So let's say this is around 0.58725 and 0.58524. So I'm watching out for price to still possibly come up into that zone. All right, and then we get to see price get rejected for yourself from there. All right, before we get to see price come into this week, probably get a strong enough demand order block. All right, and get to see price push up. All right, but for the meantime, probably I should just relabel this. I'm not exactly sure about the amount of moves, all right, that the market to make, or how strong those moves would be, but this is a more preferable way to look at it for the meantime. So buy to sell on AUD CHF. But overall, I'm watching out for the because of this, especially because of this candle that we saw here, this very, very strong rejection candle, as you can see here. I'm watching out for price to turn bullish very, very soon on AUD CHF. All right, so I hope that is clear for these commodities and pairs that we've looked at for today. All right, as I usually say, do your best to be very, very watchful and be very, very analytical, and don't be predictive. All right, make sure that you have already done your analysis. I'm not going to necessarily advise that you should place pending orders. All right, so if you are very, very busy and you don't have time to be on your chart as much as possible, all right, you can place your pending orders with proper risk management. All right, but all the same, make sure you're watching out for confirmations before taking any of these trades. Make sure you watch out for proper confirmations before taking any of these trades. All right, we are not the market. All right, you are not the market, and by definition, the market has its own mind, so to speak, quote unquote. Let's put it like that. All right, so it's very likely that any of these zones could be broken and you won't even know when that has happened. So make sure that you just watch out for lower time frame, as I usually say, lower time frame confirmations. All right. Make sure that you've seen possibly, if you're looking out for a change of character or whatever on the lower time frame, look for that. If you're looking for a supply zone or a demand zone on the lower time frame, look for that. Make sure you have all your confirmation criteria checked out before taking any of these trades. And again, I'm very sure we're going to be having another profitable week ahead of us. All right. Do also like, share this video, subscribe, share to your friends. A lot of your friends will need these analysis that we just did here. All right. So share to your friends. Have a very great week ahead, guys. Bye.